Looking back in 2018, I had a weird and wonderful year. From living in London to moving back to Dublin to starting university, now graduating university, starting projects and failing. Last year, 2018, was a pretty interesting year, and I thought I'd share some of the lessons that I learned in 2018. Some useful, some useless, but nonetheless, hopefully all insightful. So my first lesson of 2018 is bad decisions lead to good stories. Once upon a time when I was a child, I remember climbing up on top of a table in a Chinese restaurant when I was with my family and proceeded to scream the Bart Simpson quote, "Eat my shorts," while my pants were down around my knees. After pulling my pants down, in retrospect, it probably wasn't a good decision. But luckily for me, I don't really remember the traumatic experience. What I'm trying to say here is ultimately the poor decision has led to a great story for my family to tell now for the past 20 years and probably until I go to the grave. Fast forward today, if I'm ever afraid of making a decision, I just remember that in a few years time it may be a great story that I can tell. Lesson 2 is that university is worth it. I used to be a university hater. I used to really bash university. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought it wasn't really practical. When I came back from a deferred year or a gap year in 2018, it really changed my perspective. I understood university can be quite expensive for countries around the world, and I'm fortunate enough to live in a country where university is quite affordable, but the prices are increasing all the time. However, third level education in a number of places isn't very affordable, and it's very hard to justify the price. However, I can only speak from my experience. University has most definitely improved my ability to think critically. It's improved my problem solving skills, and most importantly, it's allowed me to travel the world. I've gone to Canada and I've also gone to America due to university. So looking back on it, I can definitely say university is worth it. The third lesson is trusting your gut. Albert Einstein once said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. All of the great achievements of science must start from an intuitive knowledge." Look, they say that your intuition knows something before even you do. Like, your subconscious and your intuition can process things a lot faster than your rational mind. In 2018, I decided to go against my gut, and it really did come back to hit me in the face. After some harsh lessons, I realized that I have to trust my gut when it comes to making tough decisions or when it comes to choosing my surroundings. It's like this superpower that most humans have, and I decided to ignore it in 2018, and it really came back to bite me in the face. Lesson 4, no one is as successful or as attractive as they look on Instagram. I used to compare myself to others all the time, and it's still an uphill battle. I'm not perfect and I'm quite competitive, so I can see that probably one of the reasons why. I try to remember that a lot of these social media platforms are warped realities and just highlight reels of what's going on in person. It's not really what's going on in their lives. And in 2018, comparing yourself to others is really something that I try to minimize as a habit by taking all my notifications off Instagram and social media altogether, and minimizing my screen time by using the screen time checker app on my settings. It's helped a lot. And ultimately, we all start in different points in life, and inevitably our successes and failures are slightly due to that. Comparing yourself to someone that started in a different place doesn't tell you much about them or yourself. The fifth lesson I learned that Dogon City is one of the best places in the world. Growing up in Dublin, Ireland, you can really take the place for granted. After traveling for the last 2 years, I can really say there's no place like home. A unique, mystical and friendly island off the coast of Europe. In Dublin, you can walk across the city in 30 minutes. It's close to the sea and to the mountains, reasonably safe compared to other cities. It has great food. It's also multicultural, and finally, it has a fantastic pint of Guinness. Also, the small city is becoming a major economic hub for many different industries around the world. Lesson 6 is that life cannot be compartmentalized. Now, bear with me. This year I learned how you handle any situation and challenge is probably how you handle all aspects of your life. Life can't be compartmentalized into relationships, work, health, and different areas. And I'll explain why. Like, I learned that if I was late in an assignment and I didn't pay close attention to the details of the assignment, that was probably happening in other areas of my life as well, like a relationship or even in my health or work. That life can't be compartmentalized. How you do everything is how you do anything. I realized that if I got out of bed late in the morning, then most likely I'd probably be late to meetings or the gym throughout the day. When I start paying close attention to all aspects of my life, I begin to see that nothing is compartmentalized. That if I was creating bad habits and systems in one area of my life, it's highly likely that would translate into other areas of my life. Once I started adding in new habits and patterns, I began to realize that and started changing things after I realized that life can't be compartmentalized. Then every area of my life started to shift. Habits are greater than goals. I'm actually a pretty lazy person, and my willpower is finite. So trying to set goals is a pretty boring process for me. Instead, implementing habits and systems in 2018 has been life-saving. After 30, 60, 90 days, these habits began to become routines, and then things got a lot easier, and they began to have no effect on my willpower. For example, in 2018, I wanted to save more money, and instead of having a certain goal of what I wanted to save, I implemented the system of saving 10 to 20% of my income. Now, that's not a lot of income because I am a college student. However, when that compounded, things began to work a lot easier. I didn't have to have the willpower of saying, well, I can't spend money here, I can't spend money here. When I had the system of just saving 10 to 20% that would come in all the time, things were just a lot easier. Slowly, I began to reap the benefits, and this really small habit started to become a keystone in my life. Finally, the last and lesson number 8 is that reading is important. You know, I only realized this quite recently. As you know from the other videos, I used to be a pretty terrible and poor reader. The more I read, the more I realize that I have no clue what's going on out in the world, zero clue. Reading has helped me to expose myself to new ideas, concepts, and perspective that's really shifted and changed my quality of life. Most importantly, I'd say reading's boosted my creativity and imagination. As Dr. Seuss said, the more that you read, the more things you'll know. The more that you know, the more places you'll go. Well, folks, so that's what I learned in 2018. Hopefully this wasn't useless. Hopefully some useful tips or lessons in there. I just want to share my experience that hopefully it wasn't too cringy. And if you got this far, I appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe. And on the promise that I'm going to be uploading a video every week. And have a great weekend or a great week. Thank you and farewell.